Here's a question. When was the last time you looked at a price tag and didn't do mental math before putting it in your cart? If you're like most Americans right now, that answer is probably never. Because somewhere between 2022 and today, we all became amateur accountants, calculating, budgeting, and making sacrifices we never thought we'd have to make. But here's what nobody's telling you. Those calculations you're doing, they're not just in your head. They're happening in millions of homes across America. And when you connect the dots, they reveal something far bigger than high prices. They reveal an economy that's splitting in two. Let me paint you a picture of modern America. Scenario 1. You're scrolling through your news feed and the headlines are celebrating. Stock market hits all-time high. Strong jobs report. Economy shows resilience. Scenario 2. You're sitting at your kitchen table at midnight, staring at 3 bills you can't pay at the same time, trying to figure out which company will be most forgiving if you're late this month. Now here's the wild part. Both of these scenarios are happening simultaneously. Same country, same economy, completely different realities. And if you're living in scenario 2, you're not alone. Not even close. Let's start with something we literally cannot live without. Electricity, water, gas, the stuff that keeps your house running. Pop quiz. What's the average amount Americans now owe on their utility bills? Take a guess. $200, $400. Try $790. And get this, over 14 million households are carrying balances high enough that they're at risk of getting shut off. That's not a typo. 14 million households. Think about that for a second. That's roughly the entire population of Illinois saying, I can't keep my lights on without going into debt. Your electric bill used to be like a Netflix subscription, annoying, but predictable. Now, it's behaving like a car payment. And unlike a streaming service, you can't just cancel electricity when money gets tight. The craziest part? This isn't happening because people are suddenly blasting their AC 24/7 or filling Olympic-sized pools. It's happening because the cost of basic utilities is rising faster than almost everything else, driven by aging infrastructure, climate extremes, and rate hikes that never seem to stop. And when your utility bill eats up an extra $100 or $200 a month that you weren't planning for, that money has to come from somewhere. Which brings us to the credit card. America's collective credit card debt just crossed $1.2 trillion for the first time in history. Student loans, hovering around $1.6 trillion. Mortgages, over $13 trillion. But here's where it gets really interesting. And by interesting, I mean terrifying. It's not just that the balances are high. It's that people are missing payments at rates we haven't seen since the 2008 financial crisis. Student loan delinquencies? Over 9% and climbing. Credit card charge-offs? That's when the bank literally gives up on getting the money back? Billions of dollars worth. Auto loans? People are falling behind on their car payments because the cost of owning a car, the loan, the insurance, the gas, the repairs, has become unsustainable. Here's the brutal truth. When you see someone using a credit card to buy groceries, you can't tell if they're earning rewards points or desperately trying to eat dinner. And increasingly, it's the latter. Debt used to be a tool. Now it's a trap. And millions of Americans are realizing they can't keep up with even the minimum payments, let alone pay anything down. Now let's talk about the American dream, or what's left of it. Housing. The thing that was supposed to be your wealth-building anchor. The foundation of financial stability. For renters, your rent keeps climbing while your paycheck stays frozen in place. In major cities, people are spending 40, 50, even 60% of their income just to keep a roof over their heads. For aspiring homeowners, good luck. With interest rates where they are and home prices still near record highs, the monthly payment on an average house is completely out of reach for most families. For current homeowners, you're getting crushed by property taxes, insurance premiums that have doubled or tripled, and maintenance costs that make every home repair feel like a financial emergency. And you know who's feeling this the most? The people who work in the housing industry. Home inspectors are reporting their slowest seasons in decades. Mortgage loan officers say their workload is a fraction of what it used to be. Some are sitting in empty offices, calling old clients just hoping for referrals. When the people who facilitate home buying can't find work, that tells you something fundamental has broken in the market. But here's where things get really interesting. And this is the part the news won't cover. The handyman who used to get 5 calls a day, now he's lucky to get 1 a week. The independent contractor with 20 years of experience, he's watching families attempt DIY repairs that, honestly, they probably shouldn't be doing themselves. The local plumber, the electrician, the repair specialist, these aren't flashy jobs that make headlines, but they're sensitive jobs. They're the first to feel it when families start tightening their belts. And right now, they're barely surviving. This matters because these microeconomies are telling us what national statistics won't reveal for another 6 months. They're the canary in the coal mine. They're showing us that regular people have stopped spending on anything that isn't absolutely essential. And when millions of families simultaneously decide they can't afford basic home repairs, that's not just an inconvenience, that's an economic warning signal. Here's what makes this moment different from past economic squeezes. It's not just one thing going wrong. It's everything going wrong at once. Your utility bill goes up, less money for rent goes up. Pull out the credit card balance climbs. Minimum payment increases, savings disappear. Next, unexpected expense creates a crisis. It's like financial dominoes, except every domino is falling simultaneously. And this is why so many people feel like they're drowning even when, technically, they're still paying most of their bills. It's not one problem. It's 5 problems amplifying each other. The systems that used to provide cushion, savings accounts, predictable housing costs, stable wages, aren't working anymore. Or more accurately, they're working for some people, just not the majority. And this is where we get to the uncomfortable truth. The economy that Wall Street sees and the economy that Main Street lives in are no longer the same thing. When a company announces layoffs, their stock price goes up because investors see efficiency and higher profit margins. But those layoffs? They're real people losing real income, which means less spending in real communities. When AI and automation increase productivity, the market cheers. But workers see fewer job opportunities and wages that refuse to budge. The disconnect is stunning. Corporate earnings look great. Stock indexes hit records. But households are borrowing just to survive. It's an illusion of strength powered by debt, not prosperity. So how are people responding? Self-reliance is skyrocketing. People are learning to fix their own plumbing, patch their own roofs, and repair their own cars. Not because they want to, but because paying someone else is no longer an option. Lifestyle simplification is everywhere. Subscriptions are getting canceled. Discretionary spending has evaporated. Families are finding creative ways to stretch every dollar. Survival savings are prioritized. Even small emergency funds provide psychological relief when everything feels unstable. But here's the thing. Personal adjustments can only go so far. You can cut every subscription, learn every DIY skill, and optimize every dollar. But you can't personal finance your way out of a systemic problem. When wages don't keep pace with costs, when housing becomes unaffordable, when utilities act like debt obligations, individual responsibility hits a wall. So where does this leave us? The truth is, millions of Americans are living in an economy that's fundamentally different from the one being described in official reports. They're navigating financial pressure that compounds daily, making decisions between electricity and groceries, between car insurance and medical bills, between paying rent on time and keeping the credit card below its limit. The numbers tell part of the story. The $790 utility bills, the $1.2 trillion in credit card debt, the 14 million households at risk of shutoffs. But the lived experience tells the rest. The exhaustion of constant calculation, the narrowing of possibilities, the feeling that no matter how hard you work, you're still falling behind. This is the hidden economy. The one your bills are revealing, but the headlines are missing. So here's my question for you. Which expense has changed your life the most in the past few years? Is it rent? Utilities? Groceries? Something else entirely? Drop your answer in the comments, because your story matters, and chances are, thousands of people are living the exact same reality. If this breakdown helped you see the bigger picture, hit that subscribe button. These patterns aren't slowing down, and the more people who understand what's actually happening, the better equipped we'll all be to navigate what comes next.